Diversity and equity and inclusion has been a part of my life. You know, I wasn't born and raised in this country, so when I first came here, I felt out of place in school. Later on in my upbringing, felt sometimes out of place at work. So to me, feeling like I have a home or somewhere that I belong, it's extremely important. It's important to work with people that I can identify with, important to people that might understand where I'm coming from. So it just makes the place much more welcoming.
I joined the Air Force in 2008. I did active duty for 10 years and went over to the reserves in 2018. You know, they always say, being an enlisted aviator, you're already like 2% of the Air Force, so not a lot of people do that. And then being a female in that, you're like less than 2%. So I'm always the minority anywhere I go, I feel. It's not to say anybody can't do it, anybody can come do it. I think it's just people look at it and they're like, oh, that's a guy's job. It's gonna take a lot more than one person coming in to change stuff, but if you can set a trend and show that this is legit, like there are people that are willing and able to do the same job, and sometimes even better, just giving them a chance.
I have had the interesting honor of visiting the plantation that my name comes from. My grandparents actually farmed the 40 acres that the family received after slavery during Reconstruction. You're talking less than 150 years ago. A lot of people will always tell you it was so long ago, it was in the past, you know, it was hundreds of years ago. I was impacted in the 1980s by a federal desegregation order from 1954. We were taken from an all-black school. We were put into an environment where we were considered to be inferior. We went to a school that was 96% white, and we were the only black students in the school. My neighborhood changed after that day. I still remember it, I can mark it. Fast forward to my adult life, diversity, equity, and inclusion, you cannot exclude segments of society. When violence happens in neighborhoods, it's always looked at, well, that neighborhood deserves it because they're poor or they're underprivileged or they're undereducated. If we don't address the inequities in society, those inequities spill over into what we see now happening in reality.
I was about 3 years out of college and I got up one morning, I was living with my mom, and I had this pain in my chest. And we went to the doctor's office. He took one look at the x-rays and said, I have to admit you to the hospital. Your lungs are about to burst. I had about 4 doctors in my room and they said they think I had lupus. Lupus is an autoimmune disease that affects any part of your body. We're all the same. No matter what color, what sickness we may have, you know, like I have lupus, you might have a cold, there's no difference. I've had those challenges throughout my career. And at my age, at this time, I don't want the younger generation behind me to have the same struggles that I have. I want them to be included. I want their voices to be heard. And I want them to feel like they contribute to the bigger picture and just not left to stand in the corner.
The New Image Youth Center, aka The Good in the Hood, is a not-for-profit organization that's located in the Paramore community, and we basically provide a safe haven for over 125 youth a year.
It feels like home.
First off, we have to remember that children are like sponges, right? They are going to just soak in what you give them. So when you give them light, you give them encouragement, you give them empowerment, you're going to see that come from them. They're beginning to know that they can dream big. And that's what we're all about. No matter what the situation is, no matter what you're going back home to, those hours that you're here at New Image Youth Center, you are the best that you can be. And we are constantly reminding them that their life matters in more ways than one. So, you know, our program gives them the opportunity to go outside the neighborhood and experience life. So then once they see that life, guess what? They want to be a part of that. So we have to just remember, when our youth often are boxed in, they don't dream big because they've never been exposed to but so much. But when you give them an opportunity to dream and then you be the example on top of that, then there's no stopping them.
I'm Haitian, so my parents, the only thing they really knew, because they came from Haiti, so all I knew was what they knew at the time and before I started coming here. So all I knew was Paramore. I started at the age of 10, 4th grade, and now I am 21, second year of college, going into my third. I am studying nursing, specifically pediatrics. This center is not just like somewhere you just go, come for school, after school, and then go home. It's actually like a family here.
If you improve the conditions that they live, right? So opportunities, if I get the same pay, if I'm given the same opportunity for promotions, if we're afforded that same ability, it transitions back to the community improves because you have better businesses, you have better educational opportunities. And so it elevates not just individuals, but it elevates entire cultures. It elevates races. It identifies, no matter whether you're, you know, a gender issue, whether it's a sex identity issue, it all elevates and includes those individuals. And so it opens up the opportunity for advancement equally. And that's what that equity is all about.
If you have those items, the three, diversity, equity, and inclusion, within the workplace or outside, you will have a better, well-rounded society. In the workplace, you'll have people more willing to cross those lines from business units to help each other, or they see somebody that needs a hand. It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or your background. They look at you as, you're OUC strong. You are that person that needs that help, and they're willing to give it because they feel included. And without that inclusion, diversity, there's no mixture of people. So cultures get lost, and people can't learn from other people without inclusion, I think.
I think it's super important to pledge to OUCares because allyship is everything. Sometimes people don't have the support and resources necessary to advance. So it's important for us to show that visible commitment that we are here to support the community in any possible way that we can.
Believing and knowing that other people are the way that we function, we are forever humbled, we're forever grateful because we wouldn't exist without their help.
We are a stone, a solid stone here in the community. And if we can show everybody else around here that we support the inclusion, then I think the Orlando community can also do that.
One person with $1 is not much, but many people with $1, and now you're able to make change.
We call them extended family members, when people are donating and believing in the mission so that we can still exist for the kids that we serve. So no matter how little it is, it may seem like pennies to you, but guess what? That adds up, and it's also sending a message that you believe in who we are.